It always seems to me that working with data is cumbersome. You have to make choices about data structure before you see the data in the tables, and it is sometimes very difficult to make changes once you have made a set of initial decisions. This is why I set out to change all of that by allowing for a proper ideation stage for our data. I wanted us to be able to work visually with our data before we commit and we move on to a proper database. This is where Miro came in. Miro seemed like the perfect tool for allowing us to think visually, to change things quickly, to iterate until we come up with something that we are happy with. So the data setup for this video would be the following. We would start off using Miro to build the shapes that describe the data. We would then use the mappl-io spatial tables app to convert the spatial information into a proper table structure, and then we would export this data to Notion, which is a proper database. If you are brand new to Miro, the mappl-io spatial tables app, or spatial tables, make sure to watch some of the other videos in this channel, which are included in the description box below, as this would make everything else that follows a lot more understandable. Also, please subscribe to our channel. To keep things simple, we will just use one of our practical application examples included in the mappl-io spatial tables app, the super Kanban example. We would open the example up, we would remove the instruction information that we don't need, and then we would add numbers to the tasks which are included in the spatial table that opens, so that we can keep track of them in Notion. Notice that the app can quite effectively deal with category hierarchies, so we have the freedom to use quite a few of these when we are thinking about our tasks. In this particular case, we assign a name to the sprint, we assign non-started, started and completed categories, in addition to urgent, bugs and improvement categories. In addition to that, we have a backlog with soon, eventually and one day subcategories. Tasks are always associated with the rectangle that is immediately around them. So we are in fact ready to select the data and to convert it to a proper table. Take a look at the table that opens. Notice how it has mapped out all of the hierarchies that we had included in the spatial table by using the top level, second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level, and the sticky note categories. Data in this view can be modified. You can sort it, you can filter it, and you can in fact move columns around. We would in fact have to do that in order to satisfy a requirement that Notion has when importing CSV files. We would need a title column. Let us move the sticky note column to the first position and click on the download CSV file to download the table. Now if we were using Coda or Airtable, we would have been done at this stage, but Notion has its own peculiarities when it comes to importing CSV data. Chances are that what we have would work, but keep in mind that sometimes it doesn't. So let us add in an extra step. Let us go back, select a single sticky note, process it with the mappl-io spatial tables app, and then download it and open this in Notion. In this case, we will make sure that everything is in the right format. As before, make sure that the sticky notes column is in fact the first one that appears in the table. So now we have two CSV files that we have downloaded and we are ready to import them in Notion. Keep in mind that we would only have to do that once. Once we have the structure in place in Notion and all of the columns are mapped properly, we would just have to append new data by importing it. So we should open Notion and choose the import option in the left sidebar. We will then select CSV in the pop-up window that appears. Our first objective is to get the structure right. This is why we would select the smaller file of the two that we downloaded, the one with a single sticky note. Let us open this one. At this stage we should delete the task that was added and we should rename the title of the page. Now we have an empty table view of a Notion database and we are ready to add data to it. To do that, you would have to go to the top right corner of the page, find the three-dot icon and select the Merge with CSV file option. And this is where you would select the first of the two CSV files that we downloaded. There we go, so our Miro data made its way to Notion. And of course, being able to work in Notion is great. We can add dates, we can assign tasks to people, we can sort and filter data. We can do one of the things that we cannot do in most spreadsheets, which is to group data by category. You can imagine that this would be very useful if we keep appending data to our database. We can also use different layouts. A layout that would be especially useful would be the board layout, where we can have both a group and a subgroup when we view our data. This would be especially useful considering that we have included more than one levels of hierarchy in our original data. When using this approach, all we would have to do would be to click on a task when a new page would open where we'll be able to add comments and even add a full page of information. A page that can even contain its own databases. This is really the power of Notion, and this is why we want to use it. So we are done. We started off with something completely visual in Miro. We then converted our data to a table using the mappl-io spatial tables app, and then we finished the work in Notion. The circle has been completed. Please check our channel for other videos on how you can work with other no-code databases such as Coda or Airtable, or even using regular spreadsheets. And please subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified for new videos.